Hello, welcome to the Daily English News program on Azərbaycan Televiziya with the major developments of the day. I'm Gülər Hətamova. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham received in a video format Farid Qayıbov due to his appointment as Minister of Youth and Sports.
Siz Gənclər və İdman Naziri vəzifəsinə təyin edilirsiniz.
Speaking about the appointment of Farid Qayıbov to the post of Minister of Sports and Youth, President İlham stressed that he is well known to the sports community of our country and has authority in the international arena as the President of European Gymnastics. In general, the field of sports has developed rapidly in Azerbaijan, and today Azerbaijan is recognized worldwide as the country of sports, said the head of state, stressing that our athletes show good results in international competitions, made us happy at World, European and other international competitions. Saying that in terms of the number of medals, Azerbaijan ranks 33rd, 12th among European countries and 4th among Muslim countries, President İlham spoke about the successes of our athletes, stressed that they won many medals, including many gold medals, showing great skill, professionalism and dedication. The head of state also emphasized that the shortcomings in the field of sports must be seriously investigated and analyzed. In particular, work in some federation was unsatisfactory in the run-up to the Olympic Games. So the situation in all federations needs to be seriously analyzed. Special attention should be paid to the training process and training camps. We must also take into account the fact that our athletes who won medals at the last Olympic Games are experienced veteran athletes. There are no representatives of the younger generation among them, and this should be analyzed very seriously, said President İlham, and stressed that in recent years the construction of sports facilities has been stepped up in all our regions. About 50 of our sports and Olympic centers operate in the regions alone. Their activities should be seriously examined and the situation in sport clubs should be analyzed. Transparency in this area must be fully ensured and all unpleasant situations must be seriously dealt with. Furthermore, the head of state emphasized that our youth must be educated on the basis of traditional values in the national spirit and the spirit of patriotism and must be free of all negative external influences. President İlham said feelings of patriotism must come to the fore in this. Our bright and historic victory in the Second Karabakh War must play the key role in educating young people. The memory of our martyrs who gave their lives for the homeland is dear and sacred to us, and young people should be educated on the basis of these examples. Our young people will grow up as representatives of a victorious nation. This has a great moral and psychological meaning, said the head of state, and underscored that the ministry has a great responsibility to keep this glorious history alive, to protect it, and to educate the youth on the basis of that. Farid Qayıbov expressed his gratitude to President İlham for the trust shown and said he will do his best to accomplish the tasks entrusted to him.
The new information policy of the President of Azerbaijan and successful diplomatic steps has put the government of Armenia, still resisting the November 10th Act of Surrender, in a stalemate. In recent days, the official representatives of this country, with their statements such as "We are ready to cooperate with Azerbaijan," have announced their intentions to come to terms with the new realities that have arisen in the South Caucasus. However, there is little hope that the current state of affairs will not be disturbed by Armenian provocations again.
The new geopolitical conditions that have formed in the South Caucasus leave Armenia no other way but to fulfill the obligations arising from the legal essence of the Act of Surrender. Influenced by the nostalgic feelings of Nikol Pashinyan's government, giving a new breast to the adventurous policy related to Karabakh can cost the opposing side a lot. Because today the main attention is directed to accelerated arming, and if the processes unfold in this direction, Yerevan keeps the option of military escalation on the agenda. Provocative statements disseminated through the world mediators, such as the Karabakh issue is not completely resolved, the OSCE Minsk Group co-chairs must support justice in connection with the completed conflict, serve for the continuation of illusions at a new stage. We believe that this issue has been resolved. There should be a peace treaty between Armenia and Azerbaijan. There should be recognition of each other's territorial integrity, recognition of borders, and we should start working on delimitation. I must also say that international organizations are now also responding positively to the issue of delimitation. If Armenia does not want to do this, then this is its business, but let them think well. Then it may be too late. Just as if they had left our lands by their own free will at the time, they would not have found themselves in such a shameful position. By its statements and steps taken, the enemy shows that it does not intend to draw conclusions from the deplorable situation in which it has found itself. As the head of the Foreign Policy Department of the Presidential Administration, Presidential AD Hikmetajiyev noted, as a state, Armenia needs a normal life with its neighbors. Attempts of this country to arm itself, intensifying military rhetoric to create an image, and nothing more than an attempt to console themselves. The Presidential AD also noted that if someone in Armenia starts thinking about revenge, it will be their next historical mistake. Azerbaijan will continue to ensure the protection of its borders and the safety of its citizens. Today, Armenia openly admits that it cannot ensure its security, defend its borders, it cannot live at its own expense. In this case, there can be no question of independence. Calling Armenia an independent country is absolutely groundless because the Armenian state does not have the absolute majority of the features inherent in an independent country, and the reason for this is the occupation policy. The Presidential AD stressed that over the 30 years of the conflict, the Armenian side demonstratively destroyed the cultural and Islamic heritage of Azerbaijan in the occupied lands. According to the Presidential AD, we have repeatedly appealed to UNESCO. In response, we were told that the structure is not a political organization. This issue is in the competence of the leaders of the Minsk Group, and UNESCO has no right to deal with it. Historical cultural heritage is such a thing that buildings can be restored, but it's very difficult to restore cultural, especially historical heritage. This is an integral part of not only Azerbaijan, but also the world culture. UNESCO has expressed some willingness to come to the region. We are ready to accept them. The Convention for the Protection of Cultural Property in the event of armed conflict should serve as the basis. They should be given mandates, and on this basis, an assessment of our entire cultural heritage should be carried out. The damage caused should be assessed and presented to the international community.
Azerbaijan attaches great importance to the development of relations with Kazakhstan. Speaker of the Milli Meclis, Sahiba Gafarova, said at the meeting was chairman of the Meclis of the Parliament of Kazakhstan, Nurlan Nigmatulin, within the 5th Royal Conference of Speakers of Parliament in Austria. He said that our countries actively cooperate both in a bilateral format and within international organizations. Giving information about Azerbaijan's victory in the 44-day patriotic war, it was said that the conflict has already gone down in history and Azerbaijan has begun to restore the liberated territories. Armenia, on the other hand, continues its provocative actions to hinder lasting peace in the region. Chairman of the Kazakh parliament, Nurlan Nigmatulin, said that Azerbaijan is a very important and reliable partner for Kazakhstan. He noted that the development of relations between the supreme legislative bodies has a positive impact on other areas. In the new academic year, Azerbaijan returns to the traditional form of education in schools and universities. Classes will be held on a 5-day schedule. Minister of Education Emin Amrullayev announced this at briefing on the organization of the 2021-2022 academic years.
On September 22nd, pupils of 1st to 4th grades, and on September 29th, pupils of 5th to 11th grade will resume traditional education. Also on September 29th, universities will open. The second question of interest to the public is why we resume education a week or two later. There are two reasons. The first is still a high rate of daily infection cases. 2–4% of infections fall on the share of schools, that is teachers or other staff and technical staff, including about 8% of the sick are pupils. In this context, approximately 10% of those who become ill on a daily basis fall on the share of schools. They are pupils or teachers. 10% on average are 300 people, and we, as you know, when an infection is detected, are forced to switch this or that school to distant learning. We do not consider it logical and expedient to switch to distance learning immediately after the opening of schools.
2,447 more cases of coronavirus infection have been recorded in Azerbaijan, while 3,428 people have recovered and discharged from the hospital, and 41 patients died. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 447,725, with 389,977 recoveries and 5,920 deaths. The number of active infections is 51,828. Detecting infection cases overall, 4,578,600 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan. The task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.